Good afternoon and welcome to this valedictory session. First of all, let me thank all of you. I suppose the deliberations have been quite serious. The clicker on Akash tablets gave lots of problems the first 2 days thanks to the Wi-Fi connectivity issues. But once they were resolved, it was possible for both Shauvik and Professor Inamdar to actually conduct quizzes. I hope you understand how useful it is for a teacher to immediately get a feedback on some concept that has been discussed, so you can always discuss some additional points and so on. I understand from Professor Mandar that you have suggested a few more topics to be included. What are these kinematics of a particle, centroid calculations, etc. I am happy to announce that both my colleagues have agreed to do that. They will do this and will circulate the final topics, etc. for the main workshop. This is exactly the kind of feedback that we need from colleague teachers like you who represent the education as it is happening on the ground across the country. I would hasten to add that it is not just the topics, the list of topics, but also the kind of examination system that you are forced to follow because of the university structures. I mentioned in my opening remarks that we will be embarking on MOOC, or the Massive Online Open Courses, and I'll be meeting several vice chancellors, convincing them to adopt IIT Bombay courses offered on MOOC with the grades accepted as university grades. Of course, we are not going to follow the American model, where the entire MOOC delivery is online, all evaluation is online, and the local teachers have no role. In my personal opinion, that is a bunkum mechanism, because individual teachers at each individual college are extremely critical and important to help the students, to motivate the students, to solve problems with them, to conduct the labs, assignments, and so on. Just like we use the blended model for teachers training program, like you become the teachers associates and then train 50, 60 teachers there. As I said, you will be the direct representative of Professor Mandar and Professor Shauvik at each of your remote centers, because they are not physically available, you are available. So you are them, and they will look forward to you to sort out any problem, any discussion, any concept clarity, etc., etc. And of course, we'll have discussion forums and whatever. So for students, when we offer our MOOC, and I'm hopeful that one of the courses offered would be engineering mechanics with the addition of the topics that you have all suggested, so that the students in all our engineering colleges, or at least those many whose universities accept to acknowledge the grade that the students obtain in a massive online course offered by IIT. The model that I'm suggesting is those colleges for which the universities accept this grade, we will train teachers of those colleges, exactly like we are training 10,000 teachers now, but we'll train them to become rigorous course associates or teaching associates for the course. They will be responsible for not just conducting labs and assignments and tutorials, but they will also supervise online examination. Please remember that online examination I can give from my home and I can cheat. I can ask my friend to answer, read books and answer whatever. So we do supervised online examination in the same college. But the teachers will be free to spend all their time of engagement. No preparation for lectures, no delivering lectures, no mundane task of setting up questions and evaluation. But use all that time to discuss with students problems, concepts, additional clarity. We do believe that students will benefit more. Some vice chancellors have already agreed to do that. Are there any remote centers from Karnataka here? 1, 2, 3, a lot of them. Professor Maheshappa, I believe, is the vice chancellor of Visvesvaraya Technical University, and he is very keen. In fact, I said we'll start from July. He says, why can't you start from January? So he's that keen. Of course, each university has its process, has to adapt. Dr. Mantha has agreed that he will be, once he receives the model curriculum from us for the subjects that we offer on MOOCs, AICT will endorse it, accept it as model curriculum, and circulate it to all universities, saying universities are free to adopt this in lieu of the normal course that they take. We believe that this will cause a revolution to start. Right now, I do not know how many universities will accept it, but it's very, very important that the entire quality and stature of education in every subject be raised up. You will agree that today most of the students study from the point of view of passing the kind of exams that they have to face. And if the exams are simple, if the questions are straightforward, then the amount of preparation that they will do will also be less. What typically is the percentage of students who pass engineering mechanics course in the first attempt? Somebody told me that the students find this course rather difficult. Is that correct? So how many would 60% students pass? No. 30%? I see. Well, if only 30 to 40% students pass in the first attempt in the present situation, then even a more rigorous course like IIT course, taught in IIT fashion, questions asked in IIT fashion, but with significant help from local teachers in solving those kind of problems, in discussion sessions and forums, I believe that actually the passing percentage will go up with the quality enhanced. That is our ambition. We are proposing 3 or 4 courses to start, and you all will be the creators of history when you train 30, 40 teachers at your location in the main workshop. I would definitely like especially registration for teachers to attend that course. The point is, if before 25th of September, if teachers all across the country know that my university is going to adopt some of these courses, and this is likely to be one of them, then it's more likely that teachers from that region will flock around. So particularly I can warn my Karnataka friends that you would see a large number of, practically everybody who teaches applied mechanics, engineering mechanics in your colleges is likely to join. Similarly, we have been asked to conduct a training program again for the computer programming course, which is a compulsory course in the first year for all students, etc. I am very excited about this, and as I say, you have to play a very critical role. You also have to play a very critical role in an area which generally is not talked about very openly, talked about in a hush-hush fashion. Everybody is aware of the problems in that area, but nobody wants to come out, nobody wants to stand up, and the situation is deteriorating. I am talking about ethics in academics and academic institutions. I already mentioned the dangers of plagiarism which plague us. Many of our teachers submit research papers with routinely copied paragraphs from already published papers and so on. And although people scoff at it, but nobody takes a stern action. I have not yet seen a single teacher being thrown out summarily from the college where he or she teaches for doing such a thing. Although if a student does it in IIT, we'll throw him out. If a student does it in your place, a copying case, we'll punish him. But a teacher there is no punishment. This is not acceptable because we as teachers have to be role models. And if we ourselves short-circuit the values, then there could be serious problems. But I did not start this discussion to discuss the academic ethics in this sense. I want to discuss more serious problems directly affecting the conduct of these workshops under the national mission funded by the government. As you are aware, we have set up a model of expenditure for which funding is provided by the ministry, and we release grants to all the remote centers. These grants are given primarily to cover the expenses at local institution at each remote center. For example, you might have to house 30, 35, 50 teachers will come. You might have to house some 5 of them who are outstation people. You have to give them food. You have to arrange for tea and coffee, whatever. You have to arrange for training material. you have to conduct labs, you have to arrange for the specific AVU related facility, classroom, etc., for which you will have to engage some of your technical assistants, teaching assistants for the labs and so on. And we have made a provision of not an exorbitant amount, but a small token amount as a recognition for the work done by all, which we pay as honorarium. All these years, we have been sending money to people based on the estimates of number of participants, etc. At the end of the workshop, the remote centers are supposed to submit the accounts. On paper, the accounts look perfectly fine. But the problem has started coming in. We received a lot of anonymous letters from various places where the college is not paying any honorarium to the workshop coordinators, the center coordinators. The college is not paying any honorarium to technical staff who participate in this. We are not now sure whether the bills of food which are submitted by the college are accurate or not. Let me give you one example without naming a college. There was a workshop coordinator who was to submit bills. He had a tiff with the principal. The local canteen which used to serve food for the participants used to charge some money based on the prevalent rates, which were much less than the amount that was sanctioned by IIT. The coordinator had promptly collected all the bills and prepared the things, but he was told by the management that since IIT Bombay is sanctioning so much money, you must send a bill for so much money. He refused. He was asked to leave the institute. He left the institute. And we got an invoice saying so much money has been spent on food, which matched exactly the amount which was approved. Fortunately, this gentleman who left that college had kept Xerox copies of all the bills and the papers which he had submitted. He scanned them and sent them to us from an anonymous email. But we knew the place, we knew everything. We politely asked the principal of that college, we have received this overall statement, but we need individual bills that must have been submitted to you. Please get them audited and ask the auditor to confirm that these are in line with the normal rates that are charged at your place. Within 5 days, we got a letter that no, there was an error in our original bill. The actual bill is this. Can you beat it? The principal of an institution in cohort with the management of the institution does this. Can we tolerate this? There are complaints that I have received that coordinators have not got money. Recently, we have started sending some of our colleagues to various centers, ostensibly to visit those centers to find out. But actually, they are talking to people. They are trying to find out what is the truth on the ground. People in private tell us that, sir, we have not received any honorarium. Suppose I am a teaching assistant who has worked, and I am asked, how much money did you receive in your account? If I have not received any money in my account, and I don't know what that honorarium is because somebody has signed on my behalf and submitted the bills, I will be completely nonplussed. I will not be able to answer you. I don't need further evidence, by the way, at IIT. That evidence is sufficient for me to say this is nonsense. Why I tell you this in an elaborate fashion is that please understand this. Government is spending taxpayers' money to help us improve the quality of education. The money is not a dole. It is not an entitlement for all. It is being given so that we can conduct something with decency and decorum and so that everybody's work is recognized. I am very unhappy to tell you that in 3 specific cases, I am writing to AICTE to initiate strong action. We will of course be writing to these 3 institutions. We will tell them that you are no more the remote center of this institute and that a further action is recommended by AICTE. How do we stop this rot is my question and my anguish. If we don't stop it, believe me, please understand one thing, our students are smart, they are sensitive, and they have all the information. Do you think what happens amongst teachers and the administration does not percolate down as information to our students? Of course they know it, of course they understand it. I have been hearing for a long time that many private colleges take signature of the teacher on a certain salary amount, but for the amount that is actually paid is less. I don't know how, if I am a teacher like that, I will not tolerate it. I'll say I will sign on the amount that I receive, because that's what you're paying me. But I'm not willing to stand up, because I'm scared that I might be thrown out of the job. Should that scare overweigh my conscience? Should that scare make me so meek as to buckle down and not stand up for values? Or maybe I am myself internally not clean enough and therefore I accept this? I think these are very hard questions and we need to answer them. I address it to you because you are the people who are among senior people, representative of our remote centers, experienced people. If you don't agree that something ought to be done, believe me, there is nobody else who will solve these problems. I am convinced that very strict action is required. Do you know, for example, that I fought with the Joint Secretary and Additional Secretary of MHRD last year and the Joint Secretary of Finance for 4 hours trying to convince them that some funding should be provided to each remote center to set up basic server, Wi-Fi and other equipment. I had even written to many people that are for Akash and this will be issuing this money. Do you know I am scared to send that money? It's not extraordinarily large amount of money. 3 lakh rupees per institution. But for many institutions, 3 lakh rupees will mean a good quality server, a good quality AV equipment, etc. will be obtained. Now I am scared. I am not sure whether this 3 lakh rupees will result in a good quality equipment or I will still the same webcam and a bill for 3 lakh rupees. This is extremely difficult situation to handle. I have a project review committee meeting on 3rd of October. Dr. Nigwekar, the ex-chairman of UGC, is the chairman of my review committee meeting. Mr. Ramdurai, ex-TCSM member, they are stalwarts. And I am going to pose this problem directly. And of course, I will tell them that Phatak doesn't give up, IIT Bombay will not give up. But please tell us, how do we correct this situation? Now, here is my open question to you. Please ponder on what I said. Please ponder on the nitty-gritties of the processes that obtain in financial operations within your institute. I don't give a damn to what the other aspects of finance are running. But as far as the government money channeled through IIT Bombay being spent on training teachers, which is a mission, absolutely extraordinary mission, there is no equivalent anywhere in the world. I hope you will all agree that that at least should be run cleanly, that at least should be run well. My request to you is all of you have my email ID, it is there on the web everywhere. Please send a mail of making your own observations about the situation that prevails. More importantly, please indicate in that mail some suggestions, some steps that we can take. Please understand that our job is not of witch hunting. We do not want to put a blame to the name of your institution, name of the ranking officials like principals or so on. But we want to rap people on the knuckle if they do something wrong. Because if this is not corrected, it will spread like virus. Mantha tells me that it has already spread like virus. There are faculty members, it seems, which are shown being appointed simultaneously in 5 different colleges, the same person. Now, this is amazing. He is thinking of raiding parties, sending AICT surprise squads. I asked him jokingly, sir, are we running education or are we running a police department? We are, of course, running education, but he says we want to run clean education and we need to stop these practices. Now, you and I are too small a group to change the whole country. It's not possible. But should we give up? Should we not attempt at least? Should we not attempt to correct the situation which affects us directly, which affects our work, which affects our seriousness, our enthusiasm? You all spent 5 days of your time, you have invested 7 days of your time coming here. Why have you come here? Because you have some passion. You want to do some good for your colleague teachers elsewhere. You want to benefit from these discussions. If I were a teacher like you in some place, I would rarely get an opportunity to come and listen to people like Mandar and Shavik for 5 days. It's a great opportunity for me personally, And it's an opportunity for 30, 50 other colleagues who will come later. That is what brings me here. That is what brings you here. Now, should you not be brought here and should you not be conducting those workshops with your head held high, with the head of your institution held high? At least to that extent, let's try to correct this. I would like you to tell me, I have just given some instances. This is my humble request to you, that I would like each one of you to think about the specific issues that I mentioned and any general issues that you feel, not about the workshop related academic details. For that, my competent friends are capable of handling all questions through the Moodle and so on. But these are about fiduciary ethics related to workshop activities that you may have some comment on. I would like you to very bluntly, you need not put names or something, but you can tell us this, tell me the situation, and more importantly, make some suggestions. Howsoever outlandish that suggestion might appear to you even when you write it, doesn't matter, write it. The good work that all of you are trying to do, all of us are trying. I hope you agree with this.
Yes, sir.
Let us all stand up, no? And since they are not in the syllabus, they will ordinarily never be discussed. You see, I can't set a quiz on this. No grades are given. And that is why these important aspects of our lives, which are teacher-student lives, never get discussed openly. And I thought I will use this opportunity, although sad, but this is an important matter, and I thought I will discuss this with you. Coming to the more pleasant thing, the feedback that I received from some of you whom I have been talking here and there in evenings and late nights, that they have really enjoyed this. Your feedback to my colleague teachers also, I have learned from them that it has been very valuable. I think together we will set up an extremely useful workshop for all the 10,000 teachers, and I am sure that they will benefit from it. The last point I would like to make is, even if the MOOC course does not start, even if the university has to continue teaching and examining students in the same way, suppose I am a teacher in a small college, what prevents me from doing the following? I'll say, this is the syllabus, this is the course, this is the book, this is how you will prepare, all right. But those who are interested will assemble every Sunday in my lab, 3 hours. And what we will do is, we will discuss those problems which Professor Mandar and Professor Sauvik had worked out, which appear to be difficult problems, but we believe that you will learn better by looking at those. What prevents me from doing it? No, my management will not come in my way. If I say I will teach my courses, do my lectures, I will take my labs, I will do the evaluation, but additionally, I spend 1 hour every Sunday, call a group of students, discuss these problems, and let them work for 2 hours. I have seen such study clubs being run by students in many colleges. I have seen a few teachers in very small, unknown places running labs like this on Sundays. They are all like us. But we have to travel an extra mile. So I would close with the following penchant that we shall adopt. If the university system permits our students and us to benefit from some high quality education, we shall all do so gladly. We'll adopt the MOOC in a model, blended model as I said, and we'll experiment, but we should do better than 30% passing level that you have today, with better knowledge. If that is not permitted, in our own way, we will try to make a difference. I'll tell you one thing that I have seen in all such experiments that happen across the country in small colleges by a few people. Not all students come on a Sunday morning. But those 15, 20 students who come, they are usually amongst the better performing students. They are usually amongst those students who later on want to do MTech, or even if they do a job, they want to learn more. They are the smarter people, more prepared people, more dedicated people, and more capable people. You engage them for 2 hours a morning in a Sunday, believe me, they will make a difference to themselves, to the nation, and to your institution. Consider this. It is hard. It is hard to do it every Sunday. I have been doing every night for the last 45 years, whenever I am on the campus. But I have a great advantage. I live on the campus. My students live on the campus. So my extra discussion sessions start at 9:30 in the night. They go on till 1 o'clock. But I reach home at 3 minutes past 1 o'clock. And I can still have my 6 hours of sleep, which is not feasible in most of the colleges where you have to travel from outside. But please walk that extra mile. And I say this to you because if in the next 2 months, between now and the main workshop that starts, you'll have some mid-sem exams or something, you might have pressure of the end-sem submissions and so on. But if each one of you initiates this idea, forget every Sunday, once in a fortnight, just meet for 1 hour. Agenda to discuss problems in engineering mechanics as described by Professor Mandar and Sauvik. These are the harder problems. These are the more difficult problems which you don't discuss. These are the refined issues which we don't discuss in the books and our. Just that discussion. Even if you hold 1 or 2 such sessions before the main workshop, I'll tell you the advantage. When the main workshop happens, when 50 teachers come to your college and you are conducting this workshop, you can then tell them that this is what Phatak suggested, this is what he had observed at other places. In our college, I do it. Take those 12 students to the 50 people one of the days in the evening or for a tea or something like that. Ask students to explain to those teachers how they believe that they are benefiting from this exercise. Do you agree that this could add to a positive change in the way in which people treat academics? These are just suggestions. You may or may not act on it because all of you will be terribly busy after going back. I know the life of a teacher in a conventional college. You hardly have time to raise your head. That much is the teaching load, that much is the evaluation load, that much is the administrative load. But if you can do this, walking 1 extra mile, believe me, your students will benefit. And the teachers whom you will teach in November, December will say, this person is talking out of personal experience. It is not hypothetical. Let's try and do it. So that's the positive thing I would like to say. I will conclude by again reminding you of the sad thing. These activities that I just mentioned, my senior colleagues tell me, my accounting people tell me that they suspect that there is a larger issue. I'll give you one instance. I will not name the college. We received a receipt properly signed by a chartered accountant. Amount of money paid to remote center coordinator so much. Amount of money paid to workshop coordinator so much. Both the names were same. And that name was neither the remote center coordinator nor the workshop coordinator. That name happened to be the director of that institution. I asked my staff to investigate what they found out from the Moodle record of the workshop which was conducted, the coordinator's workshop. The person who had physically come here was a different person. When the main workshop was conducted, as you know, we'll set up a Moodle for 10,000 teachers, and all of you would be non-editing teachers in that Moodle. Your names are there, your comments are there. The gentleman who had actually physically come here for the 5-day workshop was the one who actually conducted that workshop, because his comments and entries are there on the Moodle. Except that after that workshop, he changed job and went somewhere else. But he conducted that workshop, he participated in the coordinator's workshop. The coordinator's honorarium was given to a name which was sadly different from his name. Now do you think this is acceptable? Absolutely not. In fact, this should be a police case directly. It's corruption, open corruption of the highest order. Wherever we get such strong evidence, I am going to initiate action immediately. Please go back and inform all the people very quietly and decently that one mad Professor Phatak has become madder. And that he can tolerate anything and everything. You have any difficulties, any problems, IIT Bombay, Phatak, Mandar, everybody will be willing to help you. We'll walk not 1 mile extra but 2 miles extra. But there is a limit which cannot be crossed. We all sit here with our heads held high because there is not a single paisa of hanky-panky that anybody can ever even imagine again. And we are custodians of the government money, it's taxpayers' money. At least that money, please. So very politely tell all the organizers in your college that don't even think of doing it. If such a problem happens, the matter will not end by termination of our status as a remote center. The matter will go at many places. I would not like to do that because it is like, bringing family fights in open. By Indian tradition, we don't do that. But I think this situation has to be corrected. Thank you so much. That's all I wanted to say. Some good and some bad things. Once again, thank you for coming and participating. Let us give a big hand to two of our colleagues here who have conducted this workshop. May I request the certificates to be distributed quickly? I would like 2 more rounds of claps. Thank you. You didn't ask me what for was this. This was for all of you. Because without you, such a program could not have been held. And the last round I want for a large number of people, many of whom have been working in background to make this workshop successful. My team led by Mukta and Sajjan. Good. Thank you so much.